All right, let's just get right into it. If you spend a huge chunk of your day living in, let's call them fake scenarios, rehearsing conversations that might never happen, planning for disasters that are super unlikely, or winning arguments from years ago, I'm about to tell you something that might just flip a switch in your head. You are not wasting time. In fact, you might just be operating on a whole different level. Come on, we've all been there, right? You're just trying to wash your hair and bam, your brain serves up the perfect, most brilliant comeback for something someone said to you back in 2021. Or maybe you're at the grocery store and you find yourself meticulously planning the perfect escape route just in case of a zombie apocalypse. This isn't just you being quirky, it's a massive clue about how your brain is actually wired. Here's what I really want you to get. Your mind isn't broken. It is brilliant. This whole tendency to build entire worlds and run these incredibly complex simulations in your head, it is not a bug. As we're about to see, it's a feature of a highly sophisticated, deeply analytical mind. So to really understand why you do this, we first have to look at the how. I'm talking about the actual neurological hardware that you're working with, and it all comes down to how your brain processes reality itself. And hey, if you're sitting there thinking, wow, is this just me? Let me tell you, you are so far from alone. This trait, it's found in about 20% of the population. That is 1 in every 5 people whose brains are wired to experience the world with this exact kind of intensity. And this right here, this slide just illustrates the difference perfectly. See, most people have what you could call a spam filter brain. It automatically deletes like 90% of all the background noise. They're living in a 480p world. But for you, the 20%, there's no filter. You are experiencing life in 8K IMAX, whether you want to or not, processing absolutely everything in stunning high definition. And this isn't just some personality quirk, it has a real scientific name: sensory processing sensitivity. It just means your brain is literally built to process all stimuli, sights, sounds, emotions, social cues, with this incredible depth and nuance. Think of it this way. Your brain is constantly taking screenshots of your environment. It captures every tiny change in a person's face, every subtle shift in their voice, and it files it all away for later. So when you create those fake scenarios, your brain is just doing its job. It's connecting all the dots and trying to make sense of the mountain of rich data it's collected. But okay, that neurological wiring, that's only half the story. There is also a powerful psychological why behind all of this. It's not just about processing data, it's about protection. For many, this ability was forged into a genuine survival masterpiece. You see, if you grew up in an environment where you constantly had to read the room just to stay safe, your nervous system learned a very important lesson. Unpredictability equals danger. So your brain became an expert at forecasting every possible outcome because your well-being literally depended on it. This is why this isn't just overthinking. It's a deliberate protective procedure. First, you sense a potential instability. Second, your brain rapidly simulates every single possible outcome. And third, you identify the path that keeps you the most secure. It's a highly adapted safety protocol that's been running for years. And that is why your inner world can feel like such a sanctuary. In a life that may have felt chaotic or completely out of your hands, your mind is the one territory where you are in complete control. You set the scene, you write the dialogue, and you, and only you, determine the ending. But this story is not just about survival. This deep, rich internal world is also the source of a profound creative and intellectual superpower. Seriously, this is where the magic happens. Okay, so while many brains run on dopamine, getting that buzz from social events and external praise, yours might be wired for something called acetylcholine. This is a neurotransmitter that actually rewards you for deep focus and quiet contemplation. It actually feels good to think deeply. And there is hard science to back this up. Research shows that people who prefer this kind of internal processing often have thicker gray matter in their prefrontal cortex. That's the CEO of your brain, the part responsible for all the complex, abstract thinking. Your brain is literally, physically built for this. And what this all really means is that when you feel like you're just, staring at a wall, you are actually doing some of your most important work. You're not doing nothing. You're composing these complex, beautiful symphonies in your mind, while the rest of the world seems pretty content with elevator music. So how do we put all of this together? What does this all mean?
Well, it's about embracing a totally new identity, one that sees this trait not as some kind of burden, but as a guiding light.
Let's just recap these reframes real quick. What you used to think was just delusion, it's actually deep processing. What felt like constant overthinking, that's a finely tuned survival masterpiece. And what seemed like a total waste of time, that is the very engine of your creativity. This is a gift. From now on, whenever you catch yourself drifting off into one of those scenarios, I want you to remember this image. Your brain isn't strange. It's a lighthouse, purpose-built to navigate the depths, standing strong and steady in a world that is just completely obsessed with shallow noise. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Now that you see it as a sign of depth and incredible creativity, what symphony, what masterpiece, what fake scenario has your incredible brain composed for you lately?